Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Question number 7. Describe the structure of nephron. Answer. Nephron. Definition. Nephrons are the structural and functional units in human kidney. Number. Each kidney contains about 1 million nephrons. Structure. Each nephron has the following parts. Number 1. Renal corpuscle. Malfian capsule. Filtering unit. It is the initial filtering component of the nephron. Components. Renal corpuscle is composed of two parts. That is number 1. Bowman's capsule, cup shaped. One end of nephrons is expanded, forming a cup shaped structure called Bowman's capsule. Double walled sac. Bowman's capsule is double walled sac. Both these layers are made of squamous epithelium. Podocytes, the cells of Bowman capsules, which cover the capillaries of the glomerulus, are called podocytes. Number 2. Glomerulus, ball of capillaries. Bowman's capsule surrounds a bunch of capillaries called glomerulus. It receives blood from afferent arterioles. Functions of renal corpuscle. The pores in the capillaries of glomerulus and the gaps among podocytes are quite large, which allow the filtration of any substance dissolved in blood plasma. First, such substances will core the endothelium of capillaries, glomerulus. Glomerulus to pass into podocytes, Bowman's capsule, but some of the important and large sized size proteins and nutrients are prevented by basement membrane of capillaries. Number 2. Renal tubule. Nephron tubule. Filtrate refinery unit. The tubular portion of nephron refines the glomerulus filtrate by reabsorbs the important substances from urine. Some components. The components of renal tubule are number 1. Proximal convoluted tubule, first part. It is the first portion of duct system of nephron, which leads from Bowman's capsule to the loop of Henle. Largest part. It is the largest part of nephron. The proximal tubule is lined by epithelial cells, which have large number of microvilli that increase the surface area for reabsorption. Function. Reabsorption of various important substances from glomerulus filtrate occurs in this part of nephron. Number 2. Loop of Henle, U-shape. It is U-shaped in structure. Narrow part. It is the narrow part of nephron which descends into the renal medulla, renal cortex, renal medulla, renal medulla. It is more prominent in a juxtamedullary nephrons limbs. Loop of Henle has descending and ascending limbs. Function. This part facilitate the reabsorption of water and salts and keep water and salt balance in body. Number 3. Distal convoluted tubule, last part. It is the last part of duct system of nephron. Highly coiled portion. It is expanded and highly coiled portion of nephron. Urine formation. It plays an active role in urine formation by moving wastes or excess molecules from the blood capillaries into the lumen of tubule called tubular into the lumen of tubule called tubular secretion. It plays an active role in important role by moving of wastes or excess molecules from the blood capillaries into the lumen of tubule called tubular secretion. Collecting ducts. Each distal convoluted tubule leads to collecting ducts. The collecting duct system begins in the renal cortex and extends deep into the medulla. Finally, connecting ducts delivers urine into renal pelvis. Blood vessels arrangement around the nephron. Number 1. Apparent and apparent arterioles. Blood enters to kidney to renal artery which is divided into apparent arterioles. Blood enters to kidney through renal artery which is divided into renal arterioles before entering into glomerulus. Filtered blood leaves before entering the glomerulus. Filter blood leaves the glomerulus through apparent arterioles. Number 2. Capillaries. Apparent arterioles divide into two types of capillaries. That is, number 1. Peritubular capillaries. Peritubular capillaries around the proximal and distal convoluted tubule in the cortex region. Peritubular capillaries. Around around the proximal and distal convoluted tubules in the cortex region. Peritubular capillaries around the proximal and distal convoluted tubules in the cortex region. Vasa recta. Vasa recta runs anti-parallel to the loop of Henle and collecting ducts in medulla.